Mission Briefing, 1988. The Soviet Union unveils its answer to the American Space Shuttle, the Buran Orbiter. Today I begin reconstruction, not in steel and rocket fuel, but in paper, by hand.
So I started with the payload bay and fuselage first, basically the backbone of the shuttle. This part has to be completely straight and rigid because everything else, the nose, the wing, the tail, connects to it. The real Buran's fuselage was built from lightweight aluminum alloys, covered with heat-resistant tiles. In my version, I layered sheets of paper to create the most smooth but strong shell, then detailed the payload later to match the real shape. So that's what I do. So fun fact, the Buran payload bay could actually carry up to 30 metric tons of cargo, from satellites to small space station modules. And unlike NASA's shuttle, the Buran only ever flew once, and it did it completely unmanned. Next, I built the nose, one of the trickiest parts because of all the compound curves. The cockpit window has to line up perfectly, and the entire front needed to taper smoothly into the fuselage. Fun fact, during re-entry, the Buran nose area could reach up to, I believe, 1500 degrees Celsius, and it was protected by 38,000 different silica tiles. So silica tiles were what the Buran was covered with. Once the front was done, I moved to the rear and engine section. The Buran didn't have main engines like the NASA shuttle, so its power came entirely from the energy booster. That meant I only had to model these smaller orbital maneuvering thrusters at the back. Fact number 3, the design gave the Buran a cleaner structure, and its onboard flight computer could perform fully automatically. By the way, the design gave the Buran a cleaner structure, so the onboard flight computer could perform super accurate orbital connections and even autonomous landing, something even the NASA shuttle couldn't back in the day. After the engine, I built the tail and rudder. So basically, this is one of my favorite sections because in the actual functional build, or the actual thing, the tail had two specific portions. So the main rudder and the split rudder that opened like a clamshell and acted like a speed brake during landing. I reinforced this part with multiple layers. Next, finally, I made the wings. They look simple, but aligning the angles took hours. 1mm off and it would ruin symmetry. I even added these small elbow details to match the real control surfaces later. Fact number 4, Buran wingspan was 23.9 meters and it could glide completely autonomously. Its landing on 1988 was fully computer controlled from orbit to touchdown. Once all the parts were assembled, it was time for the most satisfying step, painting. I used high precision reference images to match the black heat tiles and the white exterior panels. So every black section on the underside represents heat shielding. It's what kept the orbital safe during the re-entry portion. Fun fact number 5. The Buran's thermal protection system was an engineering marvel. The tiles were reusable and required less maintenance than NASA's version. So during the painting process, mostly I was thinking of, okay, I need this to be super accurate basically. So what did I do for that? I took a needle and I painted the structure in the nose section and and then I moved on to the small details like the CCCP and the USSR flag. I added the Buran text, which is the name of the Buran Space Shuttle, and later I added the payload bay lines so it looks like, oh, it has the payload bay. And these are the cinematic shots. So what I wanted was the Buran to be addition to my AN225 Miria. It's the actual reason the AN225 exists. And thank you for watching. And this journey has been amazing. I hope you like it, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.